All right. Well, welcome those of you who are here in the room right now. I am Zena Rodriguez with my colleagues here. I am the membership director for the National Association of Treatment Providers. In my capacity, I also do some of the marketing. We all wear multiple hats. I'll show you the team in a few minutes so that you can learn more. I'm going to kick it off to my colleagues so they can introduce themselves.
Thanks, Zena. I'm Crystal Leibarger. I'm the member specialist here at NAATP. I get to work directly with our members every single day, helping them navigate their listings, access resources, and really just to make the most out of membership. Zane.
Hello, I'm Zane Strand. I'm a customer service coordinator and speaker specialist. And I help everybody that either calls the 800 number or emails us at info@naatp.org and guide you along the way to help out any questions you may have.
Thanks, Zane. And Zane is going to be our navigator. We're not going to use the PowerPoint deck. We actually want to use the new website redesign so we can show you the new navigation, and we'll be talking about benefits and the dashboard through this. So you'll see Zane go off screen for a little bit, and we're going to go on the main dashboard. And so this is where you would go on if you just clicked natap.org, right? So you're at the beginning stages. The new navigation tools, you'll see the very top bar. You have an About Us section, and I'm going to go over that with you in a few minutes. A news section where you would find our blogs. This is where member making news are posted, any policy updates, and I'll talk to you further about it. And kind of the important thing is going to be the login, and we're going to show you how that happens later on. This will be, even if you're not a member, will be how you would access some of our ability to get news and other things from us, and we'll talk about that some more. Then that very right-hand button is one area where you could get information to become a member, and there's others that we'll show you as we navigate. So really, I want to talk a little bit about us. So just so you get to know us and why NAATP, a little bit about our history, about our staff and our board, what our mission and vision is. But we're going to start just briefly with our history. And I'm going to have Zane click into it. This is the deep dive. We actually have a book that you can do a deep dive into it if you want to know all the nuances of how we became a membership association. But the main thing I want to highlight is we are the only specific SUD addiction treatment association in our industry, in our field. There are other associations, but we are the one that directly supports substance abuse disorder treatment, and we are the oldest. So we started in 1978. The roots of our starting was to be a leadership organization. It was a small group of CEOs that wanted more peer connection in the vastly changing field. Even in over the decades, they recognized they needed that support. And so that's how it began, a very small group of CEOs. We've expanded, we've evolved over time. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Our field is currently evolving, right, as with the times. And specifically in our field, there's so many nuances. So that's why we really exist. We're a society. Marvin, our CEO, often likes to reference us as a society of trusted providers. What we also are is here to provide you support for your organizations in clinical delivery and in business operations. So you get to see like all that history there. If we can go to now the board, I want to tell you a little bit about our board. Our board is really a special board because they're comprised of 25 members. They are from large providers to small providers. There's a diversity of representation in terms of what kind of services they're offered. As I alluded to, our primary sector is SUD, but there's crossover now, right? We know co-recurring, behavioral health, mental health. So our board members represent that. We are chaired, if you go back and you get to see everybody. And if you can go deeper into this and learn more about each of their facilities. Jay Crossan, Jamie Vink, Rick Hubbard, and Greg Hobelman are our executive board. Their function is they really support our strategic plan. They also serve, we have a number of committees where there has to be a chairperson from the board who serves on that committee. So this is a working committee, and a lot of our work can't be done without their support and their engagement. So now I'm going to tell you about the staff that does all of the work of delivering the products that you need, the services that you need, and the support that you need. We're a small team, so each of us wears multiple hats. Marvin is our CEO. He oversees all of us. Katie is our COO. She's in charge of HR, finances, website. She was a big part of this website design and a bunch of other functions, right? And she helps her and Marvin have co-led in many ways this association over the last 10 years. So it's nice to have kind of that institutional knowledge from the two of them. Dr. Annie Peters is Director of Research and Education. She also leads our FORCE outcomes program that I'll talk to you a little bit more later on. Peter Thomas is, we're all crucial, but Peter Thomas is the person that really vets all of our provider members, all of our members, that they are trusted, vetted, they meet the criteria. He's also head of our ethics program. If there's any ethics or concerns, that goes through Peter, and he is the staff lead on our ethics committee. So he's our main point of contact for becoming a quality vetted provider of our association. You've heard a little bit about me and Crystal. You can see more information about any of us on our bios. I want to highlight the other members of our team. Kayla is critical to our operations. It says program specialist. She wears multiple hats. She does a lot of work for our website. Her main responsibility is everything the conference related. So our exhibitors will often have lots of interaction with Kayla. She also supports communications and marketing and wears multiple hats there. Zane gave you a chance. Zane spoke to you a little bit about what he does. And Mark Dunn is our Director of Public Policy. And I'll speak a little bit more about Mark when we talk about our advocacy efforts and our policy in DC. So now we're going to talk. I'm going to just hand it over to Crystal, and she's going to go over our membership categories.
Thank you, Zena. Now let's talk about provider members. Provider members are licensed and accredited treatment providers who deliver direct services to individuals and families. They're really the backbone of NAATP membership because they're on the front lines of care. Every provider member is listed in our AID, our Addiction Industry Directory. It's a vital tool for families seeking help and for peers looking to connect. Whether you have a referral that you need to make, the AID is going to be your go-to. These organizations represent the premier providers in the field. They stand out for their high ethical standards and commitment to quality care. Each provider member has earned their place through rigorous screening, licensure, accreditation, and alignment with NAATP's values. It's a true mark of trust and excellence in addiction treatment. And as full members, providers have access to the complete suite of NAATP benefits, from resources and research to advocacy and training. These are all designed to strengthen and sustain high quality treatment. Zane will go ahead and focus on supporters. These are individuals, organizations, and allies who share NAATP's mission, even though they don't provide direct treatment services themselves. Supporter members play a vital role in strengthening our advocacy voice and expanding our reach. Through supporter membership, excuse me, they gain access to valuable resources, webinars, policy updates, while also contributing to the larger movement for ethical, effective addiction treatment. Their partnership helps amplify NAATP's mission and ensures we continue moving the field forward together. And our third category is affiliate members. So these are really the vendors and service providers who bring essential tools, products, expertise that treatment centers and provider members, supporter members depend on. We have an affiliate vendor directory, and through that, they're positioned as trust partners within our network. Zena's going to share a little bit more about that affiliate directory in a bit. Affiliates, again, they really strengthen the field by contributing discounts, specialized services, thought leadership, while also engaging in networking, sponsorship, educational opportunities. In doing so, they help create the valuable connections across our community and ensure providers have the support that they need to deliver high quality care. Zena.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk to you now about the visibility of credibility once you become a member and why it's so critical to us. So Zane is just going to navigate a little further down where the seal is. And so as you become a member, as you choose and you figure out which membership category you belong in, this is, I've alluded to kind of the criteria. This is like the good housekeeping seal of approval. I like to reference this. This is how we as an association distinguish ourselves from other directories. There are many directories. This is how we distinguish from SAMHSA, where you can find every treatment center available. But our providers, our vendors have to meet the ethical criteria to belong. So to belong, you have to be, if you're a provider member, Joint Commission accredited or CARF accredited. And you also have to abide by ethical marketing and practices. So we have an ethics marketing guideline, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more. That's what Peter does. But this seal is really how we differentiate for the public, for other referral partners, for networking, peer networking between treatment centers so that they know who would be good referrals for each other or for their constituents. So this is kind of like, and we'll talk a little bit more about how we also, this is used on your back end to help support you from a business perspective. But this is how the public gets to identify you. This is something like we're really proud of and that you all should be proud of when you become a member. So now that you are a member, we're going to talk about the directory. This is how you're found, right? You have this wonderful seal. If someone clicks on your seal, once it's on your website and you become a member, it will drive to one of these pages. On the home page, it's the very first thing that you see, very large in front of you. And then there's multiple other access ways. So what Zane is pointing to above is find treatment. So you can access it from there. And there's another section where you can access it from our members. So there's multiple pathways to get to the directory, but the main place where you could do that is from the main page. So I'm going to go through it with you just to tell you how we navigate and what the features are of the AID. What I like about our AID, is that it's specific. It has this search categories for all types of providers, what they serve. So if you see on the left-hand screen, you can search by treatment type. You could search by country. We do have a few members from international organizations that met our criteria. You can search by state. You can search by treatment type, by clinical approach, by specialty, and so on and so on. I'm going to just show you from a map perspective. We're going to pick Florida. And if you hit Florida, these are the results you're going to get. So we have this means we have 72 facilities represented, locations. If you are a multi-site provider, so you may not just have a site in Florida and you have multi-sites, people will be able to access your multi-sites from your main location. So I'll use Hazelden Betty Ford as an example. If you went onto Hazelden Betty Ford, it would show multiple listings and where they are in the country. Now that we're in Florida, if you wanted to do a deeper dive into, okay, these are all the treatment centers in Florida. I want to know who provides gender-specific programming, maybe for women. And you could drill down on this left-hand screen. So insurance types, all of this is navigatable, and then it'll pare it down to what your specific search needs are. Okay, thank you, Zane. I'm going to talk now the affiliate directory. is a separate directory for our vendors and business suppliers. So they get their own space, and this is, you navigate it from this, you can navigate it from the home screen as you scroll down. And so now it gets you to this place. Here is where all our vendors are represented from in alphabetical order. And you could click on each of them. That drives you to their specific services, what they do, and how they can support you. Crystal said our vendors are equally as important to us as our provider members because we know that they provide education and services that support the businesses for providers as they're operating. Most of our members are in the EMR categories, billing operations. We have, now that tech is increasingly quickly advancing, AI is becoming a big member category for us, folks that provide AI or EMRs that support it. So this is where you would find more detailed information about these different categories and what you need. And it's listed in alphabetical order. And you can search, as Zane is pointing out here, by these different categories or by state, or you could put in a keyword. All right. Well, I'm gonna now go back to the home page, because I'm gonna give you a broad overview of the why you want to become a member. These are the key things that we offer as part of your membership. So I'm gonna start with convening and training, because that has always been the core of what we do. As I said about our history, this was started by a group of CEOs who wanted peer networking capabilities. That has expanded for us throughout the years and the need of our field. So you will see here, if you went to this page, all of the events that we do that support the field. I'm going to highlight right now, I'm going to ask Zane to scroll to our national conference, because that is like our premier convening center. I am going to say we also biasly, we are the premier conference that highlights C-suite leadership, right? This is where our C-suite leadership goes to network, to get operational support, clinical support for the betterment of their business. And we've been doing this for over 30 years now. So that's our key conference. Why I wanted to also highlight that first is because abstracts are currently open. So you'll be able to submit an abstract until the end of this month. And there's also a special interest form that you can log in if you want to be on the registration wait list, the sponsorship wait list, and the exhibit wait list. So you'll be first to know when things open up, and you can choose the category that you want to join and participate in the conference. Thank you, Zane, for pointing to. There's a separate page that has more information on it, and you can click on that. But that is really the convening, and this conference is our flagship program. So we just could go back to the events, because I want to talk about a little bit more about convening on a smaller scale. We have started or re-engaged with doing virtual programming that allows different peer networks to have the ability to come together. The C2C is a CEO to CEO format where just CEOs of provider programs are invited to, and there are different topics that are discussed. This happens usually on a quarterly basis. And this month we have one coming up. So it's next week on the 24th. And I think it's on a topic that everyone may be trying to navigate and figure out. So that's a good one if you are a CEO provider to join. This is also a good time to say, if you're not a member and you want to be a part of that discussion, this is a good time to join. The other areas that we have are webinars like this one that we'll be doing, and we have a few this quarter that will profile our benefits in different areas. The other category of the peer networking is our M2M series, and that's our member to member series. Now, this is open to everyone who is a member, and it's topic specific. So we're going to have 3 this quarter. One of them will be on the salary survey. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that, but that's going to be led by HR professionals that are our members, and they're going to talk about how they use it. So this is an opportunity for kind of specific role functions to be engaged. So this is kind of how we expand beyond just C-suite leadership and offer peer engagement for different roles and functions. The FORCE program, the outcomes program, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about, is going to be led by Dr. Annie Peters, but anyone in a clinical capacity that does outcomes, that is responsible for compliance, this is probably going to be the event that you want to attend. So that's also available to members. I know there's one more I just want to mention, and it's the ethical webinar that's happening later next month that you could register for. And this is where kind of you really learn what it means to be a NAATP member and abide by our ethics and marketing and clinical quality standards. And also some ways on how you can secure your Google listing. We know that there are issues. So Peter is very well versed in that. That is something that I suggest everybody should join because it's kind of something that is a consistent problem in our field. So this is where you find all of that. This is why convening to us is so important. You're going to see more of these throughout the year. Next year, we're currently planning our 2026 features and kind of for the different roles that need support in different areas. Okay. I want to leave enough time, so I'm just being mindful because I can get very excited about certain areas. And I'm obviously very excited about convening. Best practice is an area that we are also very proud of. And as a member, we put out toolkits, guidebooks that really support the industry in different areas. So I'll talk about them each one by one. I'll tell you which ones are accessible for non-members and which ones are accessible for members. So our first one that we really are proud of and we're in our second edition of is the Quality Assurance Guidebook. The Quality Assurance Guidebook is really an operational and clinical guidebook for providers to have a guide of what standards they need to meet. So this will complement your Joint Commission standards. This will complement your CARF standards. These are the ones that as an association, we ask our provider members to adhere to. And that guidebook is only available to members. The second really important book publication we put out is our salary survey. Our salary survey is done every 2 years, and it is any provider member that participates gets a copy of this report. And this is an expansive report. So this salary survey will have the benchmarking of from CEO down to your BHT level, every category of operations within your organization, what the salaries are. It is broken down by region, by different categories, so you can have a comparative benchmarking tool as part of like your workforce solutions. So our HR professionals really enjoy this, that M2M salary survey. We're going to do a deeper dive in how you use it for your workforce solutions, for talent recruitment, for retention, in a time where it's kind of crucial to have really something to help support organizations as they're managing their workforce. The FORCE annual summary is available to everyone. The first two I just described, they're available to member only. The FORCE annual summary is part of our FORCE outcomes project that's led by Dr. Peters. This summary is the aggregate of data of the almost 200 sites that are currently participating on outcome measurements to clinical care. And you could click on any of these when you're in to get a deeper dive. And Dr. Peters is doing a separate webinar to discuss this further. So in that events section, if you want to get more information, you get that. But there's an annual report that's put out. And right now, we also do individual reports for the participating members. Our other toolkits is we have toolkits that really help with culturally responsive care. One is intended for leadership and the other is intended for all staff. So these help support, what you can do in becoming a culturally responsive care, trauma-informed care provider, and help support you with that. The third one on this line is the state advocacy toolkit. And I believe this is open to everyone. We can confirm by actually, I don't, well, you can't do it because you're on as a non-member. But the state advocacy toolkit is a toolkit that was developed for states that wanted to do their grassroots own effort in when legislation, when issues are coming up, what do I do to, as a group, to convene with maybe other providers and provide guidelines and step by step on how you talk to your local legislators. So that's available for you all. And I think this is my opportunity now to, oh no, we still have more. Hold on. I am going to talk about policy and advocacy. So our policy and public policy is led by Mark Dunn. Our focus in this area is really on federal. And we have a long history of working with the federal government whenever legislation is coming up around SUD and behavioral health in our field. Mark Dunn has a significant influence and connections. He's based in DC, so he is consistently meeting with our legislators. And whenever something comes up, again, we have a seat at the table. That seat at the table has had Marvin, our CEO, actually present in front of Congress. We were very involved in passing mental health parity and supporting that. And we often collaborate with other sister associations that have combined reasons that we want to kind of support legislation on particular areas. So that is led by, as I said, Mark Dunn. And I want to mention one other thing before I forget. We also are the only SUD or association that has a PAC. So it's a non-bipartisan PAC. We went through the support of our members and some of our events, we raise money from that PAC, and it goes to bipartisan legislators that will support mental health and SUD spaces, policies. Thank you. Policy, that's our public action committee I just talked about, our public policy updates. Mark will also often put out updates about what's happening currently, what we're involved in, what we're doing, and you can find that in that section there. And we have our public policy statement that really talks about what we support as a field. Okay. We could go back. I've already talked about recovery outcomes a bit. And that's the last thing I'm going to cover in this section. The recovery outcomes really is our force treatment outcomes program. It is part of us, but it's a separate 501c3 that is really meant to educate and inform the field on outcome studies and what we need to keep abreast of as things are changing within what data we collect and how we collect it. Again, Dr. Peters is going to do a much deeper dive and do a much better explanation of this in detail during her webinar. And now I'm going to kick it off. We're going to do a deeper dive into membership. We have now been logged in as a non-member, so this is everything you would see. Crystal's going to do a deeper dive and have Zane log in now as he's a member so you can see what your dashboard looks like and how you access other benefits. So I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Zena. So Zane, thanks for showing this screen. One thing I do want to make clear is that in order to participate in some of these things that Zena showed, you do have to have a login account that's not necessarily a membership. Now we're going to take a peek behind the scenes to show what your membership dashboard looks like. So you may see something like this if you're not a member. You won't have access to all the goodies that we're going to display today. Zane, if you'd like to go to that first section there. So this is going to be your central hub. You can manage your account, update directory listings, renew your membership, access resources, engage with the community. Once you're logged into your account, you can always get back here really, really easily just by clicking on that My Account in the upper right corner. That's going to appear on every single page on the NAATP website. So it's really able to breadcrumb and get you back to your membership dashboard. I think it's really handy. It's a great tool to get you back to this location. So now we're going to dive into that member onboarding button. When you click on member onboarding, you're going to see several powerful tools there that are going to help your team get the most. So Zane's going to go ahead and log in. And while he's doing that, something I do want to highlight again, if you're creating a NAATP account for the first time, you'll go in there and you'll make sure that your organization is listed. So you'll scroll through the different organizations, find your membership organization, and create your membership under them. So we'll scroll down to display member seal. So at the beginning of 2020, we redesigned the NAATP member seal to provide more security. It now uses an HTML embed code, which is only available to active members. So you're able to display this on your website. It automatically links back to your addiction industry directory, the AID. So it's really more than just a graphic. It's a mark of credibility and excellence. It drives trust and visibility, as Zena said earlier. But it's also trackable. So we're able to share some of the SEO, share how many hits you're getting on that. It's a really handy tool. We're going to go to update your directory listing. Zena covered this in depth, but again, I just want to lift up that the AID, it's the premier trusted platform for families, professionals, and individuals who are seeking treatment. Our AID receives over 30,000 hits every single month. People who are turning to it every single month to search for care. That's why it's vital that your listing is accurate, it's updated, and it's complete. Make sure that when you're filling out your directory listing, you're including services and specialties that you might have so that you're maximizing visibility and you're able to connect directly with folks that are in need of care. Our instructional video section. So this is a library of short tutorials on how to best use the membership features. I do want to note that we're in the process of updating this so that it reflects our current website. So you'll see more added throughout the year. That next section, create all staff logins. So this is really, really helpful for each membership organization. You're able to log right into this section and create logins for your entire team. So membership isn't just for your leadership. It's where you can ensure that your CEO, your admissions staff, marketing team, human resources, and more have access to the tools and the peer connections that NAATP offers. One thing that's really important is that you designate an account administrator here. This is the person that's going to manage an NAATP account, your permissions. If that's something you're having difficulty with, don't hesitate to reach out and I'd be happy to walk you through that. The next feature here is our ADA subscription. So as a benefit of membership, whether you're a provider member, an affiliate member, a supporter member, each of your staff can opt in to receive the Alcoholism and Drug Abuse Weekly, the ADAW leading publication on medical, business, and policy news in the substance use treatment field. So it's a wonderful tool that comes right to your mailbox every single week. But again, you have to opt into this feature, and this is the section you do that in. And finally, so this is one that I'm really, really excited about. This is the Hazelden Betty Ford Graduate School Scholarship. As we all know, in today's workforce environment, this scholarship can be a game changer. Whether it's staff growth, retention, whatever your focus is, employees at every single member organization, again, whether it's provider members, supporter members, affiliate members, can access a $10,000 scholarship towards a degree. They offer flexible online and in-person options. So again, I want to drive that home. I want you to really soak this in. Every single employee at your organization is eligible for this benefit. So it's an opportunity to strengthen your workforce, reduce turnover, fill skill gaps that might be present, and demonstrate to your team that you're invested in their long-term success. Zane, I'd like you to go ahead and scroll down. I'm sorry, go back and we'll scroll down. Um, that was the membership onboarding section. And again, it's really your launch pad from visibility, credibility, staff development, retention, and just maximizing your presence in the field. So we'll scroll down to the bottom of the dashboard, and you're going to see this quick action section. This space is designed really to help you engage with your NAATP community, and it allows you the opportunity to showcase your expertise. So from this section here, you're going to be able to submit presentation proposals. I know this is something that Zena mentioned with our NAATP National Conference coming up in May. This is a great opportunity for you to share your voice and thought leadership, showcasing your organization and team members in it. Post job opportunities to connect with highly qualified talent, a talent pool that's really already committed to the treatment field. You can post your positions. Again, this is limited to NAATP members, but job searches are available to anyone. So we have about 30,000 people again that are looking for treatment, for positions, for information. So this is a great platform to post positions for those in the treatment sector. We're going to go ahead and show the post trainings and event section. This is a powerful targeted marketing channel for you to promote your programs to an audience that's already engaged and interested. One thing I do want to share, this is kind of an anecdote that happened this week. We had a member organization that included an upcoming event, and errantly they accidentally included a telephone number for someone on their administrative team for folks to sign up with instead of a general number. And they realized really, really quickly that they included the wrong telephone number because that admin staff person started getting phone calls from folks that were trying to register because they were on the NAATP events calendar. So it works. It absolutely works. It boosts, again, your credibility and positions you as a thought leader in the community. We have the opportunity to share news and blog posts. This might be facility openings, milestones, success stories. This is our member making news platforms. And these are also often we cross post them to our socials. And let's see, nominate awards recipient. You have the ability to honor outstanding leaders and innovators in our field. We celebrate them at NAATP National in May. I believe those awards will be open, or the proposal awards will be open up later this month or next month. And then submit resources. This is the opportunity to strengthen through best practices, sharing toolkits, case studies, technical guidance. You're really able to make a difference in the field with the information that you share in the submit resources section. Again, that's a lot of information that I covered. The quick action section really puts visibility and connection at your fingertips. So you're able to promote your work, engage with peers, and contribute to advancing the field of addiction treatment. Dina.
So we have quite a bit of time. I don't want to jump into Q&As. If you do have questions for us, we're here to answer them. I kind of want to stay here and linger here for a minute, because what I have realized in my time as a staff member here at NAATP, this is one of the most underutilized tools that even some of our well-long known members kind of didn't know existed for them. Because what happens is the CEOs join, right? So they're busy, no time to really navigate the behind the scenes. But a good admin, this is why we really stress having a good admin, really we do one-on-one onboarding with, so that they can really benefit from this membership. So think of this also. Everybody, organization becomes a member, right? We keep talking about this from the organizational level, but every single staff member in your organization gets access right? So they may not, if they're not an admin, and we don't want everyone as an admin, they can't access all the tools, but they all get their individual dashboard so that they can navigate the system. So I emphasize that because this is where, for your own visibility, for your own marketing, you get to benefit from. What we are changing and doing differently, and it's starting this month, is usually when we promoted our NAATP events, we do it through our newsletter and we do it through an email. New this month that we're starting to do is highlight the member events. So on that navigation, when you can post your own events through, let me see where you're scrolling. I think, yeah. You navigate this, you submit your event, it goes, we get a notification, it gets loaded into our live category of events. And then once a month now, part of our emails, we will highlight, these are the events. We'll highlight our events and we'll highlight your events. We have a large database. we have lots and lots. So it's great exposure and visibility. The same with the blogs and the member making news. What we did that we are starting to do for the first time also is we shared that member making news on our socials. So this all led right to this increased visibility and call increase, which is a lot of what you all want, right? Is calls to your treatment center. This is the way you create that exposure, and how we're supporting you and continue to evolve how we're supporting you. And we've been talking to, Crystal and I lead the membership committee. And so we have a really strong committee. We sometimes vet with them, like what would be useful for you and your team. So as we do this, we will increase the visibility prospects for you all, because we know that that's important. I don't know, that just kind of jumped out at me, and I knew we had a little extra time, so I wanted to highlight that.
Zena, something that you just touched on is the responsiveness of the NAATP team. That's really how this whole website redesign came about, from listening to our membership. You shared what was going to be valuable, what needed to be improved upon, and where you were going to find value. And the team was really able to incorporate that into this next iteration of the website. So I think that's really exciting that the team listens. That's something it's ongoing and evolving. You'll continue to see different changes in the website because we are listening to you. We want to meet with you. We want to connect with you, and we want to put you in the driver's seat of the member dashboard. So having the ability to go through page by page with you, and really see how you use it and figure out what's going to serve you and your team best.
Yeah. So I'd also like, you want to click on, I know this is a little off script from what we planned, but I think it's important to highlight the conference this year because of where we're going to be. This is it's going to be held in Florida this year. This is a good location for lots of folks. We have a high concentration of members in the Southeast region as a collective. And this tab right now will go live. Kayla is working. It's live now, and it has this information, so you could click on it, Zane, so we can show folks what's there now.
It's loading.
Okay.
Oop.
So this right now is what's currently live. Kayla is working on the more robust back end that will have more detailed information. But right now, through the way Zane just navigated, this is where you can find a lot of detailed information. I would highly suggest you go on and join the wait list so you are first to know when registration opens. Hint, hint, it opens the beginning of the month, next month. So you could go a little, oh, sorry, November. It says November there. Scroll a little bit further because I think it gives some good dates. So it tells a little bit about NAATP National, why it's so important, kind of what I've already shared about it. But the location couldn't be any better. It's a beautiful time of the year. It'll be in the first week of May, a little different from usual. We're usually the second week of May. So mark your calendars, make sure you have that. And here's information on how to book the hotel. I say book it early. It's a beautiful resort. It has golf courses, pickleball courts, mini golf. It's on a beautiful, beautiful beach in Florida. And so it's also a great time to bring the family. So right now, what's open is you can go to the FAQs. If you have just any questions, you can submit a presentation till the end of the month and submit an award nomination. And there's the descriptions of the different awards. Some key dates are found here. And if you log in, if you're not logged in with an account already, do so, because then that's how we will be able to send you notifications about all these upcoming events. So, and the rates are there, all the kind of pertinent things are there so that you know what to expect. As you can see, there's a significant discount for member and non-members, so another reason why to join. All right, so
Zena, real quickly, does that
Okay.
showcase? Yes, it does. Exhibitors. Again, that's something that's highly sought after. Exhibitors getting in front of our attendees. So if you're a member, again, you get a pretty substantial discount.
yeah. And the golf tournament is probably going to sell out very quickly this year because of the location and the golf course. I'm not a golfer, but I heard it's like a premier golf course. So I expect that to sell out. The big deal about that is those funds go directly to the PAC that I referenced earlier that supports the work that Mark is responsible for with policy and advocacy in Washington. All right. So I'm hoping the 20 of you that are here with us now have a question or two. But if not, Crystal and I love to engage with our members. This is what we do. Zane also supports our members. We are here to answer your questions. You're going to get a follow-up email. You can schedule a one-to-one with us so that we can do a deeper dive, particularly for you and your organization. I think we have been really trying to engage with members more. And we want them. So whether you're a member or non-member, like I alluded to earlier, members haven't been taking full advantage of this portal. Please, someone in your team, reach out to us, schedule time. We'll share with our post email, we're going to share with you how to reach us, with our Calendly links if you want to set up a scheduled appointment, but we're all here to support you. We're a small team. Marvin joins many of our meetings when he is available. So you can talk directly to the CEO about particular questions you may have about membership or innovative things that you think are important for us to know and you'd like to showcase. We are open and available to you. I often think of us as your kind of consulting team, right? So all of us have different backgrounds. Marketing, development is one of my areas. I also was an executive director of a treatment program. So I understand the operational side. I understand the workforce issues. So I'm happy to consult with folks when they have particular issues around any of those areas. Dr. Peters, with quality and outcomes, she's a wonderful resource. Crystal has a very long, strong background in marketing communications and business development and supports in many different ways, and those included. So our audience is quiet and there are no more questions. So I am going to close it off. Oh, I see, Zane. Are you pointing to news? You want to click on there? We got some time. Yeah, let's do that. So Zane is just showing where all of our news, whether it's our personal news stories. I've written one for Recovery Month, for National Recovery Month. I wrote a blog just about how we support the industry and why we support the industry and the work that we do. We have the member making news. This is where we talk about when you submit through your dashboard, where that lives. So if that's clicked on, it'll go to the news stories by members. And this page here is just our particular stories. Oh no, there's some, okay. This is new navigation for us too. So these are ones that have been recently submitted for member making news. So if you went into your dashboard, did that particular activity, we get the notification of it and it posts here. Thanks, Zane. Thanks. We didn't know if we were going to have time for all of the little caveats of the website, but we do. So thank you for showcasing that part. And that top banner, this is where you find everything. Maybe go to our work. I think we didn't go into detail about that one. So our work is where a lot of what we talked about, you get deeper dive information for it. So you click on any of those categories and it's going to drive you to that particular section. Convening and training. This is another area where you can dive in, find out what we're doing from a NAATP side, recovery outcomes. That's what you do there. Policy and advocacy. This is where you can find deeper information for. The other, I think, tab that may be of highlighted interest is our events, kind of, so folks, we talked a lot about posting so they could see how that functions. So that's how it functions overall. If you clicked on events calendar, you will see first all events. So that includes our events as an industry and any industry events. So NAATP specific events and industry events together. So if you posted something, it would be here. Folks have the opportunity to scroll to, if they have something specific they want to search for, there's that search capability. And if you go back up, Zane, I just want to point out, if you just want to know about NAATP events, you would just select that tab and it would bring up our upcoming NAATP events. If you want to know industry-wide what's happening, and if you have submitted an event, this is where it would be showcased. And how people, so they get a registration link that goes directly to your event. So it's a real benefit that I'll say again is underutilized. So we'd love to have more folks contribute and we will highlight your event. The other thing it really helps, and both Crystal and I have talked about this, if you're in a CMO, business development rep, it helps when you're planning out the year because we have
Absolutely.
what's up and coming. So Crystal, I'll leave a little bit of time for you if you want to say anything.
Sure, sure. I would say that this is probably the most comprehensive events calendar in the substance use industry. You don't have to be a member to publicize events. So we encourage that open engagement. We encourage your business development teams, your liaisons, your outreach folks to get on here and really, tap into the events, upload events that you have going on. It's just a really, really great resource.
All right. I think we did a good job of going over all of the major features, all of the major benefits, how you're missing out if you don't have a membership dashboard. So,
Or a membership.
or membership. You
Absolutely.
need that to get the dashboard.
Mhm.
So we're here for you. If I could just leave you with that impression, and we can end with just saying that we're here to serve. That is what we do. We are here to support. You'll get an email to be able to reach out to us one-to-one. So thank you all for who joined us live. And we will see those that didn't. This will be recorded. You can share it with your other colleagues. And that's it. Have a great rest of your week and hope to see you soon.